wanted to make a quick video to talk about the AMS and leaving filament in the AMS. This particular one here is off of our P1S that has 4 AMSs. We haven't used it in about 3 days. We just didn't have a print to run, and we try to keep it for custom stuff. When we tried to run it, we did get an error that it couldn't load the filament, and then typically when that happens, something possibly is broke off in one of the tubes, which is fairly common if you leave filament sitting inside of these. We recommend that you, at a minimum, just roll the filament back out and tuck it and just let it sit like this. I don't know if it's something to do with heat coming back up through the tube into the AMS, causing moisture or something. So we've got some new makers on here. This is New Maker's dark gray. Sit it to the side. This other one, and I'm suspecting one of these is probably broke off in the tube. This is New Maker's real big screen. They both come out pretty good. I don't think they broke off. The last one we've got, it is on a New Maker spool, but it is a lime green from Mica 3D that we re-spool because it does have a cardboard spool. But you can see this is actually a pitch black spool, I believe. Yeah, pitch black. Yeah, this stuff right here is feeling kind of brittle. We run into this a lot with filament, so we typically don't even put the screws. Yeah, we don't even put the screws back in them, just to make it easier. We do run extra desiccant. Typically, the humidity inside of this with the extra desiccant packs plus the ones unit from Bambu in the back of the machine, it typically runs around 20. We've had this one open for a few minutes, so it is up to 31. Which still isn't terribly bad. So let's see what the culprit is. This probably be a good time for us to clean this out too. Oh, we got one bad roller. We'll go ahead and pop that out. And this is a common thing too if you're running the. You can see where it's just completely wore that one out. We buy as many of these as we can whenever Bambu has them in stock because they go bad so often. But like I said, we don't put the screws in them. So let's see if we can spin this around and see which tube. All right, yeah, see it? It's definitely the Mica right here. It is snapped off inside of it. Mica's good stuff, but we run into it a lot if we leave the machine sitting. So if you're not somebody, we're running 40 machines. We typically keep them running nonstop. If you're doing that, you typically don't run into much of a problem with filament snapping off. Let's just double check. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything in any of the other tubes. And then if you're real careful, you won't unplug these wires that it's really hard for us big-handed people to get to. So yeah, we got that cleared out. Make sure we didn't unplug anything. Drop it back in. We'll go ahead and replace that roller. Like I said, we keep a ton of these around because these rollers, they do wear out. Lee Shepard's got a good video, and we need to start doing that on how to refurbish these things because it is a cost from Bambu to replace them, and they go out of stock a lot. So we've got that back in. Let's reload our filament. We got that one. We'll drop our desiccant back in. And we don't need that green for this print. So we probably just won't put it back in. We will put our Ryobic because we do need that. And if you haven't tried New Makers, you can check them out at newmakers.com. Code E3DPrints. We'll get you 10% off your first order. So we'll be back in just a second. We're going to get this thing loaded back over here on the AMS. Start a print and see how everything runs. Got the AMS installed. We did have to end up putting the screen back in. Which we're fine with that. Typically, you only have an issue with the filament that's actually in the AMS. The stuff that's outside of the AMS doesn't really give us any trouble. I don't know if it's got something to do with the pressure that the first stage feeder puts on it, just causing it to snap. Because that's typically where it breaks. It breaks right there, and it leaves what's left in the AMS tube there. I don't know if it's also got something to do with maybe the heat coming back up. Like I said, this stuff was sitting here for about 3 days. The Mica 3D stuff snapped on us. We run into it with a lot of different brand filaments. We use a lot of different companies.
Elegoo, Bambu, Mica, Amlin, and from time to time you just run into that. So like we said, we do not recommend leaving it in the AMS tube. So yeah, if you're not going to use it for a few days, just roll it out. If you roll it out and just hook it and just leave it not in that tube, typically it's fine. Thanks.